This conference will now be recorded.
Are you able to see my screen? Okay. Okay, today we'll see that REFramework, Robotic Enterprise Framework. So basically, if you go to the UiPath Studio, you can see templates like this. See, like this. I have a REFramework, a Robotic Enterprise Framework. That is a create a traditional business process that follows the best practices for the large scale development. Okay. So basically, nowadays, most of the operations, most they are using the RE framework. Okay, so they are using the RE framework in the sense they start their project in the RE framework. So if they build any old projects, so in the old traditional way, like a normal flowchart or these things, then they're converting that into the RE framework because RE framework has a lot of advantages. Uh, let us see. So, what is the RE framework? So, what is advantages? We can get the advantages. So, the advantages. This is a like a so, first of all, what is RE framework? RE framework. Okay. So, simple answer is this is just a template. Okay, this is just a template, nothing else. Okay, template means you if you're doing something like that, something like download the some templates like a Java resume, 2 years experience resume template. So you will give the some template. You can't send the template directly to the people, right? So what the template means, it has a something predefined. So you have to follow. You have to just customize that template. Okay, so you have to change wherever required. Okay, so this is a predefined template. It will suited for almost all type of processes. Most of the processes. Okay, most of the processes it will suit it. This is a just template, nothing else. Template means they already done something, so they have some rules. You have to follow that rules. You can that's a your choice. You can follow or not. That is your choice. Okay. Because it is a customizable. You can follow or you can change the existing template, or you can that means remove some parts in the existing template. You can add something to the existing template. Anything you can do. This is just a template. Okay, RE framework is just a template. That template has they already. It's like a modular modular approach. So what is a modular approach? So modular approach, instead of you are writing an entire code in the single page, you are splitting all the things into different areas. So modular approach means we have a reusable workflows, right? So before the reusable workflows, what we do, so we do write entire code in the single page, single workflow, main.xaml only, right? Main.xaml only. So suppose, for example, you are some kill Chrome. You have to kill the Chrome and open Chrome URL and log in and read data from Excel and process each item from Excel and update status, close Chrome URL. So, if this is a process, so what is the process? So we are first killing the process, killing the Chrome. So because we have to work with the Chrome browser, open some URL, some login page, and log into that URL, and read the data from the Excel, and process each item from the Excel one by one. Take the one item from the Excel and give to the process. Process will process, and again one by one it will process and update the status for each item and close all applications. So once everything is done, close the Chrome URL. That means close the Chrome, okay, or kill the process. If the Chrome is not closed, if the Chrome is not closed, kill Chrome. Basically, you are cleaning the environment first before going to run the environment. So this is, you understand, right? So the killing the process, killing the so this whole thing you can write in the single page. There's no problem. But the modular approach means you are splitting the work into modules, basically, okay, individual modules. So you are writing so something like a kill process you dot XAML you're creating, and there you are writing the code of this one. Okay, understand? Code of this one, and open applications. Initialization, okay, all the applications whatever you are opening this, so to open work with that, so Chrome, that SAP, or any some desktop applications you are writing, so you are writing some different XAMLs, okay. It is a modular approach, you are module, so creating the different modules and keeping the corresponding thing into the that modules, okay. So I'm logging. So keep it login also. Okay. And read load Excel to data table.xml. So something you are creating the another module and reading the all the Excel this part into the here. Okay. Get a new item.xml. Just imagine, okay, so this is another module. So each item you are creating here, okay. Process a new item. So basically, get a new item, get each item, and process .xaml. Okay, here it is processing for each item. Okay, and then update the status. So set. Okay, that is on XML. Okay. Just don't remember these names. Just understand that the way how they build. There's a so close Chrome, right? So again, close all applications. XAML. And again, kill process. So anyway, kill process, we don't need to see kill process. We call here and call here, right? We don't need to write a code for multiple times. So you can call directly kill process. Okay. So this is a modular approach. Instead of you write entire code into the single page, you are splitting the code and doing in a different XAMLs. Okay, different XAMLs. What is the advantage here? So the advantage is, so tomorrow, so one more thing coming here. So instead of Chrome and as well as a SAP, you have to log in. SAP.exe is a login. Okay, you have to kill the SAP and SAP exe. Okay, so basically what you can do, so you can create you are writing killing the SAP code into the kill process only. Okay, you're not disturbing any code, but you're whatever the code. So each XAML you're preparing for the each XAML, this has some purpose. Okay, so only that type of code we are keeping into this XAML. So you're just dividing into the modules, and each module you're preparing like a this module is for this purpose. Okay, if you want to kill the Excel, where you want to write. So anyway, you created this kill process, then .excel.exe. You are writing the kill process, Excel work into the kill process. Okay, so and you want to log into the SAP login process or initialization, so everything. So right, you are opening the login SAP, these things and all you are writing into the init all applications kind of thing. Okay, and close applications, Excel you want to close these things, and SAP you want to close, you can use a close applications. So like that, the process, the main thing is the process. So the process, don't remember these things and all, because I just uh, told that. So because of the modular approach. Modular approach, do you all people understand what is a modular approach? What is advantages of the modular approach? Why we have to split into the modules instead of writing in a single page? You all understand in the chat window? Is right remaining? Please ping in the chat window so that I can understand. I can go further. Okay, so this is a just okay. So just a template. What we have to understand. RE framework is a just a template, predefined template. It is a given by the who given this template. It is given by the uipath company itself. Okay, given by uipath. Okay, uipath. Okay, then what is this? This is a modular approach. And what is the next advantages? Okay, so the question is like that. So what is RE framework? Why we have to use RE framework? What is advantages? So you have to tell these things and all. This is a thing. So the advantages and what is RE framework? It's just template. Okay, nothing else. Just template. Okay, you can use you can customize that template into your application, your requirement. Okay, so you have to that's what the RE framework, that's why RE framework is a very important. Why I'm saying from the starting onwards, the thing is, so if you know what exactly RE framework, where we have to change, what changes we have to do, so then you have to fit that RE framework into your requirement, where our requirement fit into that RE framework. So, okay, so you have to think about that. Okay, so it's not like it just simply write the code, you may go to the process or something. So you have to think, so which is the iteration, so these things and all. Okay. Last class we saw without for each loop, we iterated the Excel, right? Without for each row, we iterated the Excel by using the state missions, right? So like that. Okay, next one is also it's already they handled already. Okay, they already handled all the exception handling. Okay, we don't need to bother about the exception handling because so they built in the framework, it is coming with the exception handling. Okay, and this is a so basically this is by default it is a state mission, and by default it is a follows the queues. Okay, any transactional days basically majority of cases, so people 95% people use this RE framework for the any transactional basis, the transactional, right? Transactional, so processes. Okay, so this, what is a transaction may be a files in folder, okay, or emails uh, from inbox, or uh, records in Excel. Okay, so anything is a transaction, right? Each one is a transaction. So the list of items, you have a list of items, you have to loop each and every item from that list. Okay, that is a transaction. To do the transactional process, you can use the RE framework. So it is a by default. This is a by default. Okay, so by default it is coming with the by default it is built on top of the state mission, and it is coming with the default it is used the queues. Okay, queue concepts. Okay, let's go to the RE framework one. Okay, so basically RE framework is a built on top of the state mission, right? State mission. Okay, it has a states. So we know state and the final state, these things and all there, right? So we'll design the states, so like a, so this is a one state, that is a init state. So this init, these names and all they gave by default. Okay, so if you want, you can change. You know, okay, that is a, it's not fixed actually. So you should no need to follow the exact thing. But see, so they gave the init state. Init state is the starting state. They name it as a init state. What is the purpose of the state? Okay, what is the purpose of this state? This name itself, it is saying that it is initializing the, it is a initializing the things actually. So before going to that, so you just we'll know about this. What is that? Uh, config.xlsx. Okay. In the framework, they gave the not only the files, they gave the files and folders and some input files also. It has an XLSX config.xlsx. It has a three sheets. You should remember, keep in mind these things and all. Settings, constants, assets. Okay. So they have some mechanism. So we have to know the mechanism. Then only you can write the code wherever you want. Okay. So so what they have, init all settings. Okay. Or XLSX XAML is there. Okay. There is a one file called init all settings. We will write the all things also here. Whatever file init all settings.xml. Okay, before that, basically here they will call, they have a some, they already write the code, so it is a init all, they will call the init all settings. So the init all settings is mm, convert entire Excel to the one dictionary. Okay, config dictionary. Config. This is a dictionary. Dictionary means it's a string, right? S-C or a st or a string comma object. So what is a string comma object, right? So the string comma object, uh, the string is a key, object is a value. Okay, basically key value pair. That is a dictionary. This is by default in the main.xml. This is the whole thing is a main.xml. Okay, whole thing, the whole white wrapper is a main.xml. Okay, main.xml. This is a main.xml. Within the main.xml, we have a state machine. That state machine has a one state, that is a init state. Init state has a init all settings. The init all settings purpose is this will just convert. Yeah. Hello. Anyone want to speak? Okay. Okay, so what is the purpose of the init all settings? Init all settings purpose is just initialize all the settings. So basically, this has a setting sheet. The config.xlsx is the one input file. That input file has a settings, constants, and assets. What is these three? These three are the sheets in the config.xml. Okay, three sheets by default. So if you want to change, you can change. If you want to add more sheets, you can add the more sheets. Okay, but based on that, you have to update the adjust the init all settings call. Okay, so basically, let us discuss about this. Okay, so these settings. Okay, here name comma value comma description. Okay, so forget about the description, it is only for our understanding. So the name and value. So this is a if you see the settings and constants, the structure of the Excel is a settings and constants is a name and value, these two columns, okay? And the assets are different. Assets is having the name, comma, asset name, asset, okay? And description is also there. Description is only for our understanding. Okay, so how it looks like, so you have to understand this one, config.xaml. So basically config.xaml has a three sheets. One is the settings, constants, and assets. The settings and constants is looks like this one. So name and value. Okay, they have a name and value, two columns. Okay, two columns, name and value. So name is a key, value is a value. So the same thing will go here. Okay, so what it will iterate each and every line from that settings and constant sheet, and it will fill the config dictionary. Config dictionary is a string comma object. String is a key, that means key, and this is a value, it will fill. Okay, so name and value it will fill. Okay, assets, the name is here, value is not here. Okay, value is there in the orchestrator, right? orchestrator assets. It has a value. Okay, so name is there, but as the value is asset value. Okay, asset value. So basically, so so this name is a key. The value is not asset name. It will go to the orchestrator and take that corresponding asset value and fill into the config dictionary. Okay, for example, just see here. Suppose URL. Okay, that is a URL. The next column has that like a www.facebook.com. That is a URL. That is a normal thing. Okay, here uh, something like that. File name or ID, SAP ID. Okay, this SAP ID is there, but SAP ID comma SAP ID. Okay, SAP identity is this one. Okay, so in the orchestrator assets, there is a SAP identity equal to S12. Okay, so basically that is the value. Understand? So just imagine in the orchestrator assets, we created the SAP identity is the asset name and the value is a S12, right? S12, that is a value. It is asset value, okay? But here in the asset sheet, so you have to understand. So see here, this is a different and this is a different, okay? The way it is reading this whole thing is different. So settings and constants both are same kind of thing, and this config. Okay, from the first, so it automatically takes. Okay, don't confuse. So we're not going to write anything because it already there. You have to understand what is there. That's it. Okay, you're not going to write anything. You're not going to read the Excel. You're not going to read the assets and fill the dictionary. Nothing. Okay, zero coding. You're not going to write anything because they are already done. But the one thing is you have to understand why you have to understand that one. So what it is going on, because in future if you want to change, if you know the what is going on inside, you can change easily. Otherwise, instead of going blindly, that means it's better if you go knowing all the things. Okay, so this is a config URL. See, the first thing it reads URL is there. Okay, URL it fills everything. Okay, config of the next thing is a SAP ID. Okay, that is a from settings. So it won't feel like a SAP ID entity. Okay, it's not like that. So what it is, instead of this do, so this will take this asset name and go to the assets and take the S12. Okay, S12. Okay, so basically this finally at the end of this init all settings. So the init all settings before init all settings, the config dictionary, the config dictionary, that is a dictionary variable, that is empty, that is nothing. Okay, after init all settings it has a something, it fill all the values. Okay, so that is the one Excel they gave. If you want to use anything, suppose you want to have some URL, then where you have to write this URL. You want some URL to open the one application. You need the one URL. You want to store that URL. So instead of you store into the variables, where you have to store, you have to store into the constants or settings. Okay, understand? If you want to store the some values in the assets, so do you want to write a code for getting the values from the asset? No, right? So suppose in my project I am using the just listen carefully here. Okay, so everything I take in the REFramework, so I want to use in my project. So one Excel path, that Excel path I am preparing it to the asset name. So now I created the one asset name like a input Excel part. Okay, that is the one asset I created, and the pass asset name is like a C colon img colon so jp dot xlsx. Okay, xls x. Okay, so this is the asset I created. Imagine, just keep I mean listen here carefully. So as I created this asset, okay, because so tomorrow it may change. That's why I created the asset. So tomorrow it may be a D drive, it may be a E drive. Okay, so or the path may change. So that's why. So instead of we know, right? So that's why we are creating the assets. So instead of you create the hard code into the variables, you create assets. So in the production also, there's no problem if you change the asset automatically it will affect, right? That is the purpose of the asset. So you created the asset. How can you access this asset? By using the get asset, right? By using the get asset activity, you will get. So you don't need to write. If this is a case where we have to keep in here in the asset sheet, go to the Excel config. Where is that? Config dictionary, config.xlsx, and go to the assets tab, fill that, comma this one. Okay, so you can have the name and asset name are same or different, no problem. Okay, so you can name it as a different or same, no problem. Okay, so where you are, so once you create an asset, if you want to use this asset into your Excel application scope, okay, so once you create an asset, you go to the config.xlsx, understand, and go to the asset sheet and add these two. Okay, this name, the first name may be your choice. Okay, based on that only we can create. Otherwise, so let me create something like that. Excel path, that is my name, and asset name is this one. Okay, so now if I want to use in the Excel uh, application scope, okay, what do I have to use? How can I use? Config of Excel path dot to string. Understand? This is so in the Excel application scope. I want to access this Excel, this C colon slash image, this one, right? But that is asset. So what I did, I created the asset. That asset name I pasted into the config.xlsx asset sheet. That is a value, and this is a key, my key. Okay, so this based on this key only you can access wherever you want in the whole project. Okay, whole project. If you want to this one, you have to use the Excel, this Excel part, right? The first one. But how can you use config Excel? This code already done. So getting the Excel, getting the key value and the asset name, everything is already done. That okay? Because what you have to do, you have to use this one config dot. How can you use? That's it. Okay. That's what init all settings. Do you have any doubts up to now in the init all settings? So what is going on? Okay, but you have to understand the things basically and their purpose. Reusable files, you have to understand reusable files, and then default variables. Okay, and their purpose. Okay, default variables and their purpose. Now we got the init all settings. What is the default variable we saw? Config. That is a dictionary, string object dictionary, that is having nothing. Initially it is nothing. Okay, that's why. So here you're just checking if config is nothing. Okay, so then only you're writing this code. Okay, if the config is nothing, then only you're writing this code. Understand? If the config is nothing, then you're calling this one. Otherwise you are not calling this one. The initially it is a config is nothing, right? Initially config dictionary is empty. So then you are calling the config.xlsx and filling the information. Okay, so config about the config.xlsx, you know, understand, right? Then if you want any new variables, you are doing the project, you are in the middle of the development. So you are in the middle of the development. I want to there is a in the suppose take this example. Where is my any example? Okay, suppose this path, this name, I don't want hard code. I want to keep in the some variable. So whenever I want to change. So where do we have to keep? You can keep into the assets, or you can keep into the here with the variables also. Okay, you can keep like this. Okay, understand? So you are keeping this one. So directly. So file name, file any file name, right? That is a key and value. So how can you access now? So instead of you giving this one config of config, it is not there. Yeah, name dot toString. Okay, that is wherever you want anything, just create. Don't disturb the code and just go to the Excel and fill the information and access by using the config. Okay, if you want to access anything from the config.xlsx, you have to use the config dictionary. Okay, that is the next one. So next one, you can have something like a init all applications. Okay, so before that, you have a kill all process YAML. Okay, kill all process YAML. The purpose of the kill all process is what is they gave the default module. Okay, that's it. Okay, it is a just YAML, just reusable workflows. We are creating the different YAMLs, right? Just YAML. So what is the purpose of this one? So it is empty by default. They will give the empty. Okay, you have to write the code. What type of code? If you want to kill any process, you can use a so anyway kill process is there, right? You can use a kill process to process activity into that code and write all the code whatever you want to kill the suppose your application is interacting with the so on some Oracle or Java applications, you want to kill the java.exe and the oracle.exe. So then where you have to write that code, the killing process, and you have a separate module like kill all process. You have to write that code into this one. Okay, so init all applications. The next one is the init all applications. What is the init all applications? If you want to keep it open before going to process, doing the process, you want to keep all the applications open. That thing you are writing into the init all applications. It is instance they give the modules with the empty. Okay, there is no code inside that. Kill all process does not have code. Init all settings has the code, but kill all process does not have code. Init all applications does not have code. They give the facility. Use the init all applications to initialize all the applications. Okay. These are one applications where you can open something like a Facebook, open Salesforce, open SAP, open Java. So you are opening so browser. So how can you open that Facebook and Salesforce these things and all? How can you open? By using the open application, right? By using the open application. So just open application or open browser. Open browser. Okay, if it is a browser based, you are just using the browser based. Open browser, and giving the URL and doing all the things. So where you are writing this, where you are dragging this open application, open browser, open browser, these things now you have to write into the here init all applications. Okay, you have to write that type of code into the init all applications. Understand? That is the that thing about the init stage. Do you have any doubts? Do you understand what is the init state?
So they'll give you some example in the REFramework.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely I will. Because see, first of all, you have to understand what is REFramework. Okay. So
Yeah,
then we will do the practice. We'll do one practice. We'll give example. Okay. We'll do multiple examples. Okay. Understand?
yeah, okay.
Okay. I'm asking, do you have any doubts in the init state? Okay, once everything is initialized, next it will go to the get transaction state. This is one thing, get transaction state. Okay. You need to get transaction state. That is the second state.
So these in init all applications, uh, if you have the credentials stored, then do you have anything for the credentials, or we need to write the code, get credential, and then
Get credentials. There is a so if you have a credentials kind of thing, you have a one activity called get app credentials. XAML, okay, get app credentials. So the get app credentials, you can write you can call that get app credentials. There is a get app credentials. So the purpose of this one is so you can use the what is that asset name. Asset name is the input in argument, and it will give the output as a uh, user name and password. These are all the output. Okay. So if you want to get any credentials, so you can write, don't use a get credentials directly. You can use a get app credentials at XAML wherever you want. So that is your choice. So you can write into the init all applications. There is a they give the facility get app credentials. So if you want to drag in init all the settings, you can drag or so basically you can drag anywhere. Okay.
yeah.
Suppose you are using the Facebook login. So init all applications you are writing the in the init all applications only you're just accessing the username and password and log into the Facebook or Salesforce, right? So in that case, in the init all applications, within the init all applications, you are just using the get app credentials. Get app credentials is also separate XAML file. So you just drag that get app credentials and use that one. Otherwise, you can go, that is your choice where you want to log into that application. Okay, if you are logging into the application into the initial stage itself, you can drag there itself. Okay.
Okay, got it.
Okay. Next one is a get suppose uh, get transactions. So this once this is done, it will go here. Okay. So another there is a system error object is there. That is a default variable system error. System error. There is an exception. Okay. Exception. What exception it is? System dot exception. Right. We have a common exception is there. Right. That is a system error is a one variable. So this system variable by default it is a nothing. Okay. By default it is nothing. So if we are doing this whole thing, while we are doing this whole thing, if we get any exception, so these are two states, right? So each state is covered by the exception handling. Okay, so there is a try and catch they used, and finally everything they used, and this state if any exception occurred in the init state, then it will go to the final state, end process. That is the end process. There is a third one. The next one is the end process. So if any exception occurred in the init state, it will go to the end process. What it means? System error is not nothing. Okay, is not nothing. That is the case. So if the system error is not nothing, then it will go here. Understand? So in the catch block, so they are filling the system exception. If any exception is not occurred in the init state, the system error is nothing. Okay. So here, what is the same thing here? So how it will go? System error is nothing. Okay. That is a condition. You know, right? Transition has the conditions, right? This is a how many transition? There is a two transitions. One is a init state is connected to the final process. Init state is connected to the get transaction state. Okay. So init state has two transactions. One is to the end process to the get transaction state. Okay, so the first one, when it will go to here, if a system error is not nothing, that means system error is having some value. If the system error is nothing, then it will go to the get transaction state. In the get transaction state, the first thing is what they are checking, should stop. Okay, if any should stop triggered from the orchestrator jobs. If should stop, okay, should stop, they will call the should stop, and it will check if the should stop is triggered or not. If should stop is not triggered, should stop. Okay, if should stop is not triggered, if should stop is triggered, what will happen? There is a transaction item. Okay, item. So by default it is a queue item. Okay, by default transaction item is a one item. So that's what we discussed here. So transactional based, right? Transaction based that code here. Okay, see, we are doing the transactional process using the REFramework. The transaction item may be a one single file in the folder, or one email in the inbox, or one record from the Excel. Okay, if you have a student's record, one record is a one student is a one transaction. Okay, that is a transaction item. Okay, that transaction item by default it is a queue item. Okay, transaction item by default it is a queue item. If you want, you can change that into the anything. Okay, if you want, you can change it to the string, or so why it is a string. So if your transaction item is the only file name, you can name it as a string. Okay, or if you want to, you can change. It's a transaction item. It is a single item. You can convert into the dictionary string, something like that, or you can change that into the data row. Okay, if you have a data table, then if you want to single thing, so that is a data row. Also, you can single row is a one transaction item, basically single item from the list. So, and also transaction data is also there, data. That is the one variable, another variable. It is a data table by default. Okay, so if you want to use the data table, if you are not depending on the orchestrator queues, and if you are depending on the data table, so then the transaction data is a basically the transaction data is a one variable, that is a data table variable, and transaction item is a single row from this data table. That's why we are declaring the data row. So by default, what it is, queue item. Okay, queue item. Okay, so first, if the should stop is triggered, okay, so we're taking the transaction item is a transaction item equal to nothing. Okay, that's what here transaction item is nothing, and transaction item is a something. Here is a transaction item is a nothing, or okay, if it is a true, what is the mean by true? So if anyone click on the should stop activity stop button in the orchestrator jobs, so what is the here should stop is a true. That means if it is a true, transaction ATM equal to nothing. So here it will go here. If the transaction ATM is nothing, it will go here. So what is that? No data, no transaction. Transaction item is nothing. Okay, that is a condition here. Understand? Transaction means nothing. That means no data. Basically, no data. Okay. So if anyone click on the should stop, where it will go? It will go to the end process. So if any exception, so can you ping in the chart window? If any system exception, if the system exception means system error. Okay, system exception occurred in the init settings. What is the next stage? If any system exception, ping in the chat window. Yeah, you can speak also. End process, right? Because
Yes.
so if any exception occurred, it will go to the end process. If there is no exception occurred in the init state, what is the next state?
Get transaction.
Yeah, get transaction state. Okay, ping in the chat window. So all has to participate. Okay, chat window or you can speak. Okay. So in the jobs, they click on the stop button. So okay, what is the next state from the get transaction state?
I have one question.
Yeah, yeah.
For the should stop, it is from the orchestrator, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So you have set a trigger schedule there. I mean, you have a trigger schedule.
Scheduled bot. Okay, a scheduled process.
So I mean, you can stop that process. Only then this should stop will get triggered, right?
Sorry.
So if you have scheduled in the orchestrator to run those jobs, and you stop from there, only then that this should stop will get triggered here, whatever you're.
Basically, one thing we have to understand in the jobs page, we have to understand about the jobs page. So when the items will come to the jobs page, can you tell when it will come to the jobs page? The new items you are adding, or it automatically comes?
No, whenever there is an add queue item or bulk add queue item.
No. I'm asking about the jobs page. Okay, there is no queue. We didn't talk about the queues, right? Queue page is different. Jobs page is different. When the jobs page will fill. So when the new item come into the jobs page, job has a job status, job name, job when it is started, when it is ended. These things and all, right? Jobs page in Orchestrator.
Yeah.
When the new item comes into the jobs page. If you run from the studio, a new item come into the jobs page. Can anyone tell? If I run from the studio, uipath studio, in the jobs page, so is there any new item come? So we discussed about the orchestrator, right? The time when the new item come into the new item, see, queues is different. New item is different, and this job is different. There is no connection between the queues and job. That is a schedule is schedule only having the schedule. If you have a schedule, so you have a time schedule, and new queue item schedule is there different. Okay. So if you run from the studio, it won't have a new item in the jobs. So if you run from the jobs page itself, there is a play button, right? You can run on demand, right? So you can run on demand. If you run from that jobs page itself, you have a new record. If you run from the schedules, you have a new item in the jobs page. If you run from the so last time you asked the one question, right? That is Archana, you asked one questions in the window that been in the words, right? So that is the answer is not that only schedule. Okay, that's wrong. Answer is not schedule, not only schedule. Okay, so if you run from schedule, it will come as a new record, and run from agent, it will create a new record, run from jobs page, it will create a new record. Okay, these are all the 3 stages. So run from the schedule, schedule in the sense this is a trigger. Okay, trigger happen from anything. Trigger is a timely based trigger or a queue item trigger. Okay. Jobs page has having all the items, right? This is having all the items. You can run from the from here. Here you can select the job and run that. It will have the trigger, right? That is the jobs page. In the jobs page, you have any records run from these 3 places, not from the studio. Understand? Hello? Acha, your doubt is clear?
Yeah, yes, Sudhir. But yeah, I mean, what you said is right. But whenever you are running from the what is that tray, robot tray, you can't stop the job.
We can stop.
You don't have that option enabled, right? When you are running from the robot tray in Orchestrator.
If you run from the orchestrator, the new record will come here, right? If you run from the orchestrator, suppose, for example, let us take this one only, but we have to configure that entire thing. Okay. Or this message boxes. Do we have mission? Okay, robots. Okay, environment. Okay, so I'm just publishing this one. Publish orchestrator. Publish. Okay. Okay. Now, if I run from this, so we need to create a process, right? Packages has a package name called what is the package name? This one. Test OP. Okay, test OP is the package name. Okay, test OP is this test OP. This is the one. So just few seconds ago, and go to the process and create a process. So create a process with the process package name. Package name is the test OP, and the version environment. You select the environment. Okay, create. We have a process. Jobs. Go to the jobs. Run the job. Okay, that is what is the job name? Process name. Our process name is SOP dev. Select the robots and start. So once it is a start, this record, see, new came and it is a manual. Okay, once you have the new entry in the jobs, you can stop. Correct? This thing you can understand, right?
Yes, Sudhir.
Okay. Now what we can do, we can run from the tool agent. Let us check whether we can. Yeah. Another one is schedule trigger also. So if you create a trigger, suppose you could create a trigger, any trigger, timely based trigger. Okay, so every minute that is also you can stop. What we have to select the process, and every 1 minute, and yeah, so stop after stop job after 3 minutes. Okay. Kill the process. Okay. Just adding the one trigger. We'll see. Go to the jobs page. The jobs page has only one record now. Okay, that is a manually we create. We launched the manual. We launched that process manually, and so in the triggers, I have to select that. This one. Okay, we have to select the time zone also. Okay, time zone and number of robots. Time zone execute all robots. Okay, update. It is executing. Okay, it is executing. See, right? Go to the jobs. You can see now two jobs. One is a trigger, that's the scheduler name, and manual. So if it is running, so let's let it run again one more time. Okay, so now we saw from the jobs on demand, that is a manual source. So the next one, second is by using the scheduler, the trigger, timely schedule. That is the source is this is a source. Okay, that this is a source. Okay, the source is that name of that.
Sudhir,
Yeah,
minimum 1 minute we have to schedule, no?
you know,
In that
1 minute only
um,
we scheduled 1 minute only, right?
below 1 minute we can't schedule, no?
There is no option like that. Okay, so
Uh,
here, if you click here below 1 minute, there is no option. So below 1 minute, okay. There is only minutes. There is no seconds. Below 1 minute means seconds only, right?
yes.
Or if you want to do that kind of things, so just go to advanced in the corona expressions. So you can just search for the corona expression every 30 seconds, every 20 seconds, like that. Okay.
Okay.
Update the cron expressions. By default, they give the 1 minute. There is no seconds option here. So there's the 1 minute, and here there's the minutes only. We can't have a facility to change the minutes to seconds. If you want that kind of thing, just use that seconds. Anyway, people, there's no requirement like that, right?
Actually, process have to mail every 5 seconds.
Every 5 seconds.
Yes, that's why I'm
Uh,
asking you.
every 5 seconds means you just instead of you. So why you have to schedule? That is not schedule, right? Every 5 seconds means you
It's
just run on demand.
24 by
Huh?
24/7 processes.
Yeah, yeah. If it is a 24 by 7, don't schedule. Okay. So just run that one. Okay. So run that one by default. Use the
Oh,
while true condition, and in the delay you just mentioned. Suppose yeah, so don't schedule in the orchestrator. That is a not correct process. Use the while. Okay, this is a give the true, but that means 24 by 7. True means it will continuously execute. There is no false condition. It won't come outside of the loop. So then what you have to do, you have to delay. You give the delay and check the delay. The delay, you're saying that every 5
okay, sir.
seconds. Yeah, give the 5. Then run it. Okay, run it from the studio. So don't go for the orchestrator. Run from the studio. So or run from the robot. Okay, create a batch file otherwise. Okay. You know how to create a batch file, right? So run it.
Yeah.
It will continuously monitor, continuously every 5 seconds. It will wait 5 seconds and go and check the emails. 5 seconds, go and check the emails, like that.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Okay. Now go to the jobs page. Go to the jobs page. Here a new record come, right? So where we run from this one? This is from. You have a stop button. Archana, so you asked, right? You have a stop button. If you run from the uh, if you
Yeah,
run from the
trigger.
trigger, yeah. So now this is a trigger. So run from here. Here we have a OP, right? Run from the UI robot. Run from the UI robot. You can see here. Run from the UI robot for all the things. You have a trigger. So let me stop that one because some confusion. So triggers. Go to the triggers, and this trigger I'm deleting. Okay. There's no more trigger for 1 minute. Okay. Now JAWS page has how many records? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 records. You can run from here, agent. Then the next one is the agent, run from the agent. Okay, robot is running. In the jobs page, you can click here. Oh, we are not able to stop, right?
Yes,
Um,
Sudhir, this is what
yeah. So if you run from the agent, that's what one the new thing. We can't stop. There is no stop button, and kill buttons are not enabled. Okay. So only we can say from the jobs, from the triggers. You are correct, Archana. Okay.
yes.
From the jobs and triggers, we can stop. We can click on the stop button. Okay. Basically triggers only. Basically the schedules only. Schedules, if you click on the stop button, it should stop, will listen. But from triggers, you can't listen. It won't listen. It will add the new record in the jobs, but the thing is, you can't able to stop from the orchestrator because it is not depending on the mean. Is from the trigger is happen from outside of the orchestrator. That's why. Good point. Yeah.
So, I mean, you have developed the should stop here in your
Hmm.
framework. And if
Hmm.
somebody is running this process from the tray, from the
Hmm.
robot,
Hmm.
so this wouldn't be recognized, right?
This will
Um,
interpret. This is always saying that false. The should stop will return the false only, not trigger, not click, not click like that because there's no option, right? That is
Right.
not enabled. Okay, if someone called from the system tray, so this should stop will always say that it is a false.
Right. Yeah.
Understand?
Okay.
Yeah. This is a good point. So I also learned it's a new thing. Okay. So I thought everything comes to the jobs page will have that facility, but that does not have a facility of the stop trigger. Okay. Only it is for that particular whenever we trigger from the orchestrator only. Okay. Now,
Yeah, you
so
covered
since
this there in Orchestrator. I think you covered this. So when I was listening to the recording,
oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, should stop is triggered. Then what happened? This will assign that. What is this? This assign means the transaction item is a nothing, right? Transaction item is a nothing. So this will assign that here the transaction item equal to nothing. So what happened? The transaction item is nothing means you go here to end process. That's it. If transaction item is something, so use the get the get transaction data, get transaction item. Okay, get transaction data. Okay, get transaction item. There is some other thing is there. Get transaction item notation. Get transaction data or the item. Okay. Now, so if it is a true, see this is a false. True. This is a true. Okay. If this trigger, this is a false side. If it is false, should stop is not triggered. Then it will call the get transaction item. So the get transaction item, the purpose of the get transaction item is it will get the new item from the queue. Okay, so it will get the new item from the queue and it will fill the that queue. So which queue it will get the new item? You have a lot of queue names, right? Lot of queue names. Here you have a lot of queue names: library queue, bus queue, something different, departments queue, employee queue, library queue, these things and all. Which queue it will give? The queue name you have to mention in the config dictionary settings. Okay, in the settings tab you have a queue name in the settings tab. Okay, so you have to mention the your queue name. So in that particular queue only it will get. Okay, it will go to connect to that queue name. So which queue? Understand here the point. You get the item from the queue. Which queue? What is the queue name? That queue name and all where you have to mention. You have to mention in the Excel config Excel. The config Excel settings sheet. You are mentioning the queue name. Okay. Now, so the purpose of the get transaction item is it will get the new item and it will fill the this transaction item. Okay, the transaction item initially it is nothing. It is getting the get transaction item is a activity, right? It will get use the that get transaction item. These things and all it is already there. They build already get transaction item having that mechanism. Okay, so you have to use it's already there. So the get transaction item has a mechanism. It will fill the transaction item. Now the transaction item is there. What is the next step? You have a 10 records, right? So imagine you have a 10 in the library queue. library queue, you have a 10 items. So 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4, like that. There is a different new items. These are all the status is a new. Okay, status is a new. Okay. These are all the items. Okay, so once the transaction item is read successfully, the next step is it will go to the next stage. Okay, so what is the condition here in this transaction item is not nothing. This is a condition. These are all the conditions, right? So if any new item comes into this transaction, that means get transaction state. So what is the next stage? Next stage is the process transaction stage. Okay, process transaction stage. Process stage. Process transaction stage. That is a stage name. So what is there in the process transaction stage? The main thing here, you have a call process.xaml. So before that, you have there is another variable called business exception. That is another variable, business exception. So initially you are creating a business exception equal to nothing. Okay. So here in the init stage, so initially what you are doing, system exception equal to nothing. Okay. Understand? System exception is nothing. That is the first step, and here is a business exception equal to nothing. Okay. So in this here process, here is a process. Okay, in the process .xaml, that is another workflow, process.xaml. Okay. Process.xaml. This process.xaml has the actual code for single item. Actual code for single item. Single item, what you are doing, single student name, single file in the folder, single email from the inbox. That is one transaction, right? So where is this transaction? This process.xaml. So from where it will get, it will take. Can you people tell? So in the process.xaml, it will deal a single process, right? In the process.xaml, it will deal the single transaction item. So from where it will get the single transaction item? Will it get from the queue?
Get transaction.
No. Get trans. No. So in the process, so process does not know about it. So these are all the individual things, right? Process transaction data has the transaction item, right? The transaction item is these are all the global variables. These are all the global variables. The global variables in the sense main.xaml. That's why here on our project name. So this main.xaml, right? Main.xaml has these variables. Where it will fill? The transaction item is filled by the get transaction data, and process XAML is taking the item from the transaction item. Okay. So this get transaction data it's not like giving the item to the process transaction time. It's not like that. Okay. The get transaction data, the get transaction state, the purpose of get transaction state is getting the new item and filling the transaction item. That's it. Okay. Transaction item is one variable, that is by default Q item. It will fill the item. Understand? It will fill the item. And the process will take that item from the transaction item. So then do the main process. The main process, you know, right? Any process, the actual work start in the process.xaml. Actual work. So it may be anything. Okay, so creating the folders and log into the the website and click somewhere and do some process, adding the information and connecting to the database. So okay, so Excel modifications are mainframes, Salesforce, anything. So whatever you are doing, the main work, where we are writing the main work, process.xaml. Main work for single transaction. You are writing for the single transaction. Okay, single transaction. The transaction is having the transaction item is a single transaction, right? So if any exception occurred, system SC, I'm having the SC, okay, so it has a, it covers with the try and catch. So it covers in the try and catch, try block. So within that again, catch block, this is a catch, ch catch, and catch has two things. One is a system normal exception and a business exception. Okay, so if there's any system exception occurred, a system exception, you know, right? Application exception and system exception, two things are there. One is a system exception. You can call that system exception as the application exception also. The system is, what is a system exception? Can you explain? So some, can you ping or can you speak? Can you tell some system exceptions? Anyone? Chaitanya, Om Shri, Archana. Can you tell some system exceptions daily you are facing? Hello? Are you getting my voice? Hello?
Yes, Sudhir. We are.
System exceptions. Any system exception? We saw a lot of things in the exception handling, right?
Yeah, it can be read range or file.
Yeah, file not found exception, select or not found exception, right? So regularly we are getting the select or not. So if the application is changed, the selector is not found, right? So there is a, you are clicking the home page, home button. There is a button, home button. Okay, so they changed the home button to the main button. Okay, the selector not found exception. So any exception, it's not business requirement, any system based exception. Chrome is closed, Chrome is hanged, right? Chrome is not responding, or Excel is not responding. Okay, Chrome is closed suddenly. There's no select or not found exception will come. So file not found exception come. So you are dealing with one Excel in the C drive. Someone is deleted suddenly. Your robot has to look for that file. File not found exception will come. Right? Array index of the bound exceptions, object reference, these are all the system generated exceptions. Okay, if any system exceptions, system exception occurred in the catch block, we have two things. One is a system exception and business exception. So we are handling the two exception catch blocks, two catch blocks in this process. One is a system exception. Any system exception occurred, so where it will go? Where it will go?
End process.
It won't go to the end process. It will go to the,
To the init
okay,
process.
so before that, so okay, so there is a system exception, so we will cover that one. Okay, and there is a business exception. Okay, they covered they have a system exception and business exception. Okay, so first you take this one. Okay, take this one. So who taken this one? So first record, get transaction status taken and fill the transaction item. The transaction item has a which record? 111. Now 111. What is the status here? In progress. In the queue, in progress. So this is a queue item, right? So this is a success. So everything is a process success. The creating the folder is a process. Just imagine creating the process is a success. So in here you have a finally block. You have another block called finally, right? In the try and catch. In the finally block, you have a set transaction state okay, something like this, set transaction XAML. Okay, so this has, it will set the transaction item, this transaction item in progress to success or failure. Okay, or if it's the business exception, it will fail. As a set transaction status. Okay, that has a facility like a, so if it's like that, if system exception is equal to nothing and business exception equal to nothing. What it mean? The system exception is nothing, business exception is nothing. What it mean? It means your success, right?
Success.
Success. Success. It will go to the success block. It will go to the success block. Okay. If again, so if it is a failed, I mean it's not failed, then one second. Let me remove this one. Okay, if it is a fail, it will go here. Okay, it will go here. If it is a fail, that means fail here, it will go here. Okay, and here it will system exception is nothing, or business exception, system exception equal to nothing. Okay, that means there is a business exception, right? So there is a business exception. System exception is nothing means. Then it will go to the fail but business exception that what it will set, it will set the transaction status equal to fail, and it will give the business type. Understand? So we have to, we are setting the transaction status, right? In the queues we have a transaction status in the queues. So if you go to the queues, so you have a set transaction status. If you just use the set transaction status here, anyway, that set transaction status has a, in the fail, you have a business type and application type. Understand? So if it is a business, what will happen? If the system exception is nothing, means business exception is there, and business exception it is getting the, it is changing to the fail, and it will set the state the exception type equal to business, and it will give the reason. Got it? And the else condition, what is that? Else condition, you have this one. Okay. Else condition, you have this one. Okay. So what is the next last one? So if the system exception is, so that means if the business exception is nothing, one second. Business exception equal to nothing, that means what it means is a system exception, right? System exception. Then, so what it will do, it will, is a system exception, so it will do the same thing, fail, it will change the that. So what this fail and these things and all, this transaction item, it is doing for the transaction item. So for the set transaction status, the input is a transaction item, right? Q item. That is what. So we are just setting the status for this transaction item. This is a globally moving for all the things, right? So in the main only it is there. So it is a system exception, application exception. Okay. So if this is the application exceptions, what will happen? If this is application exceptions, it will go to the instead of it set directly to the fail, it will go to the retry. Okay. So we can retry the application exceptions. So it will go to the retry equal to retry count plus 1. So basically, while you are declaring the queues here, the queues, you are while creating the queues, you are declaring the retry mechanism, right? If you give the 5, so that is the retry. It will retry to those many times. So first it will go and set the retry count equal to increase. It will retry. It will increase the retry count. That's it. Okay. It won't. So it will set that retry. It won't go to the fail. It will go to the retry mechanism. Okay. So once the retry is done those many times, then it will go to the fail. It will just it will set that transaction status equal to fail. So first it will go to the retry, then it will go to the fail if the retry count is a match crossed. So that is everything is there. This whole thing is there in the set transaction status. Okay, set transaction status. So it has it is checking and setting the transaction status. That is where it is calling. It is calling. It is calling in the final if block. Okay. So if it is everything is success, then both is business exception and system exception is nothing, and business exception is nothing initially. If the processes goes good, both are nothing. So in the set transaction status, if both are nothing, that is a success. Understand? If any system exception occurred in the catch block, in the system exception catch block, you are filling the SE, system exception equal to that exception variable. Then it will go to the system exception, it will go to the business exception is nothing, system exception is there, and it will go to the retry. Okay, now I'm just removing this whole thing. Okay, yeah. Okay. What is the one thing is from the process, if the everything goes good, success, it will set the set transaction status will set the success. And what is the next thing? If the item is success, that means this is success, right? In the queue, just see this is in the queue. Okay, success. So what is the next one? Next one, it has to go to the next item, right? Next item. How it will go? The process transaction process state does not know anything. It will just process and it will go to the it will just redirect to the next item. That next item in the sense it will go to the transaction item. It is a connection. Okay, it is a success. What it is? It is a success. Okay, success. Understand? With success, what it will go? It will go to the get transaction status. Get transaction. What is the purpose of get transaction status? Again, it is checked. It checks. So should stop is there. If should stop is not clicked, then go to the get transaction state and take the new item. So 222. Okay, that is a new item. What it will status in progress. So what is there in the get transaction item? Which item is there in the transaction item now? You can speak in the chat window or speak on chat. So what is the current item?
It should be the
222, right? 222. So what is the next one? Next one, go to the process and process everything and go to the next item. Okay, set the status to the success. If anything, everything goes good, success. Or if any exception occurred, something folder is not found, any system exception, any business exception occurred. Business exception means if that 222, so something like a 222 in the business exception, if not only the items, so age. So just imagine, so the item and age is a 12. Okay, so that is the items, right? Item has a properties, right? Just imagine. Okay, properties. So it is a business exception. So if the age is, that is the business requirement. If age is above 25, then throw the business exceptions, because we are handling only the below 25 age. Okay. So this is a ID, comma age. Understand? So this is a queue item. Queue item has one item has a two fields. One is an ID and age. If anything the age is greater than 25, then you have to throw the business exception. That is a fail. Okay. Okay. It will go to the business exception. So in the process, we are throwing by using the throw activity for the business exception, because it is exceeded the age. Okay. Age. So then you throw the exceptions. Where it will go? It will go to the business exception, right? You go to the business exception. So if the business in the business exception, what we are filling? We are filling the business exception variable. We are filling the business exception variable to the exception. Okay, in the back catch block of the business exception, we are filling the business exception to the exception. So then in the set transaction status, so anyway, so we have a business exception, right? System exception is nothing. We're filling the business exception. So we're setting that as we're setting this as a failed, and this is a business exception, and the reason. Okay, you're failing. So once this is failed, where it will go? Once it is going to the business exception, where it will go? It will go to the this is a business exception, right? Business exception. Okay, it will go to the because this is a business exception. Okay, business rule exception. You'll go to the again the get transaction process for the next record. Okay, if any business exception, understand? So why we have to go to the get transaction state? Because we have to process the next records, right? If it's a fail because of the business exception, so go to the next records. Okay, go to the next records. So the business exception occurred in the process transaction state. What is the next state? Get transaction state. If everything goes good, there is no business exceptions, there is no system exceptions. What is the next stage from the process? Get transaction state. And the both the ways it will go to the get transaction success and business exception. So then what it will do the get transaction? The get transaction state will take the next item and take this one as a in progress. Okay, in progress. Understand? In progress. So now, so it happens suddenly the browser is closed or Excel is not found. So what will happen? The system exception occurred. System exception occurred. The system exception occurred. The system exception in the system exception catch block. So the system exception will fill. This SE will fill, right? Once the SE is filled, so here the business it will go to the SE and retry. If any retry is there, it will retry. Okay, it will retry. We'll go to the, it will set the transaction status equal to retry. Retry. Okay. How does so if the system exception occurred? What it will do? It will go to the, if the system exception occurred, it will go to the, init. Please listen here carefully. It's very easy. REFramework is very easy and interesting concept. Okay, what is this? This is a system error exception. EX. Okay, system exception. If the system exception occurred in the process transaction state, what is the next state? You go to the init state. Why it will go to the init state? Because something browser is closed, right? See, browser is something Chrome. You're doing with the Chrome. Chrome has some browser has a login input form. You're filling the one by one records, age and C. These two you're filling. These two you're filling. These two you're filling. Okay, while you are filling, browser is closed to some selector not found exception occurred in the process.xaml, and that selector not found exception is the application exception. It will go to the catch block. In the catch block, there is a system exception block. Okay, if it is a fail, what happened to this? If this will also fail because Chrome is closed, right? What about the 1,000 records are there? More than 1,000 records are there. What about the remaining things? Everything will fail, right? Everything will fail. So now that's why what happened if the system exception occurred, it will go directly to the init state. In the init state, so what will happen first? Go to the top in an init state. Okay, first SE equal to nothing. Okay, then it will check if config is nothing. Is the config is nothing? In this stage, config is nothing. Just ping in the chat window or
config is already loaded.
Already loaded, right? So if the config is already loaded, config is a filled. So then it won't go to the init all settings. Understand? It won't go to the init all settings because config is already there. Why unnecessarily you are loading again the Excel from the Excel? Not required. This is the second time we are going to the init stage. Second time from the system exception. So it won't execute the init all settings. It will execute the kill all process. It will reopen. Okay, it will keep clicking in all the environment and it will open freshly the applications and it will go to the get transaction state. If the get transaction state is occurred, which item will come here? From which item? Can you tell the number? Okay. Now which item will come from the queue? Where in this one, right? Where in the 333? In the 333 only we have a system exception. The browser is closed. So what will happen? It will go to the init all settings and it will check the config is nothing. So its config is not nothing. That way it won't execute the init all settings. Then it will kill all the processes, Chrome, everything, and it will open the freshly open the Chrome and all the applications, and it will go to the get transaction state. In the get transaction state, again it will check the should stop is there or not. Should stop is not clicked, then it will go to the get transaction state. Get transaction item, the purpose is it is getting the new item from the queue, right? So which item it will give in this queue? Okay, can you tell? Are you pinging in the chat window? Can you tell which item, which number?
One.
No. Oh, can you tell number? Someone telling the number. What is the use of the get transaction state? The get transaction item in the queues, you have a get transaction item, right? Get transaction item. Get transaction item. The purpose of the get transaction item. The purpose of the get transaction item. It will take the first. It will prefer the new items. Okay. So where is the new item? 3 is not new item, right? 4 is new item, right? In the queue. In the queue, this is a 4 is new item. Then it will go to the 4. It will go to the 444 and fill the 444 into the transaction item. The transaction item equal to now 444. Okay, understand? So and process transaction state. If the process is completed successfully, then what is the next one? So the process is a success. You have to tell. Okay, success. What is the next item? 555. Okay, get transaction state again. It will take that one and complete everything is success. So what is the next one is a success. So there is no new items. Now it will prefer, if you go to the get transaction state, it will prefer the retry items. After completing all the new items, it will go to the retry items. Okay, now it will take the 333 and process again. Okay, one more time. If it is a success, it will put the success. Understand? If it is a success, it will put the success. If it is a retry, again retry come to increase, and again it make it retry, and those many times retry it will reach the maximum retry count. And so if it is still having the same issue, then it is a failed on application exception. Okay, still having the same issue. Okay, if you have a retry, understand? So the 333 has an issue, bigger issue. Okay, so 333 having the 11, something 11 is not accepted by the form, input form, or so then it is failed. 3 times, if the retry is of 5 times it will fail, 5 times it will retry. At the end, if the retry count is reached, so then it will fail. Understand? So that is about the REFramework. So what is there in that end process? End process is close all applications .xaml. Okay, that is a close all applications .xaml. Okay. Understand? Close all applications .xaml. It is in the try block. If any exception occurred while it is closing, it will go to the exception catch block. In the catch, so you have again kill all process .xaml. Okay. You are trying to close smoothly. You have a close applications, right? Close applications. What is the code? You have a code like a close all. Close application, close workbook, close tab. These things are all there in the close window. These things are all there in the close application, close all applications. So now we have a close all applications also. Okay, close all applications. And so if any exception occurred in the while closing the applications, it will go to the catch block and it will kill the process. So that is a whole structure of the this one. Okay. And one more thing, one more property here. So item number. So there is a number, transaction number is there. Let's go and take the REFramework. Okay, in the UiPath Studio, just click on the REFramework, Robotic Enterprise Framework. Click that one and great REFramework. and give the name. Okay, so it will come up with a, you all understand this one, right? The whole thing, whole process, where it will go, where it will went to. Okay, this is a
Sudhir, if possible, please show the retry.
retry.
Retry. I mean,
Retry
if
you
you can
want.
show. Yeah.
So first it will retry. Okay, go to the retry, status equal to retry. You want me to tell again retry?
Yes, Sudhir. When it will go to that retry scope, because you showed us, right?
Yeah, when it will go to the retry scope, if any system exception occurred, then only it will go to the retry scope. Okay. Okay, so in the system exceptions, the business exception equal to nothing, that means system exception is there, so then it will increase the retry count. Okay, and the status is a retry. So if the business exception occurred, the retry will work. No, business exception means, so you're forcefully making that as a failed because of the business rules. System exception only it will retry. That is a normal thing, right? If any exception occurred in the systematically, that means application exceptions, then we have to retry. Otherwise, we don't need to retry, right?
Yeah.
You don't need to retry. So that retry, so this will state go to the retry status. So here you have a retry. If you go to any queue transactions, you have a statuses. See here there is a retried. Okay, how many retried, these things and all. Okay, so if it is retried, first it will go to the retried. So and once the retried account is completed, that maximum retry is completed, then it will go to the failed finally. Okay. So finally, failed status. Failed status has the application exception. This failed status has an application exception. So you can have. Understand?
Yes, Sudhir. Yes.
Yeah. Let's go here in the project panel. So you have to understand these things and all. This is a structure. So we have a data folder. Okay, data folder means this config is there in the data folder. Okay, it is there in the data folder. That is there in the data folder. Okay. Data folder and documents. So let's go open this one. Okay, you can understand here. Okay, if you go to the data, you have config.xlsx, right? It's already there. It is already come up with the things. So where we have to update our queue name. This is the queue name. Okay, you just update the queue name library here, right? So your queue name is employee queue. You have to update this employee queue here. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Okay, employee queue. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Queue name you have to update here. How many sheets are there? Settings, constants, or sets. If you want to add, you can add anything. So if you want to add something like a HR, all the HR variables you have to here, and SAP variables you have to here. So you can add, no problem. But so simply add will not work. Okay, simply add will not work. Okay, so I will tell how can you add this thing. So if you have this also having the name, value, these things and all in the HR also name value, you can put name value. Okay. If you want to add, you can add. Otherwise, by default, 3 sheets. Settings and constants. What is the structures? Name and value, right? It's what here we discussed. Settings and constants, name and value. And constants, so also name and value. So these all came already. So it's like a maximum retry you can mention here. Timeout short, timeout medium, timeout long. That means timeouts. So what is the timeouts? So they mentioned something. So the milliseconds. If you want to add these ones, the main.xaml. So for each and everything, every activity, we have a timeout option, right? Suppose if you have a click activity, if you have any activity, you have some in the triggers, you have a timeout option, right? If you just hardcode 2000 like that, it will work. In the future, if you want to change the timeouts, so you can't change, you can't open the code, right? So if instead of that, so if you can use like a timeout short or timeout medium, you're just using the timeout medium instead of this c int, because that is a converting config of this one. Okay, so if you use like this timeout medium, this is a constant. So tomorrow the timeout medium, I want to increase, I want to tune this number, you can tune. So if 5 to 98 like that, okay, you can tune from the Excel. So you are not touching any code, but you are touching the Excel file, because Excel file is used by all the places in the REFramework. Okay, that's some standards they gave already: delay short, delay medium, delay, these things and all, and exception. So log messages, these things and all they gave. Okay, if you want new things, URL and www.google.com. So these things and all you can add these numbers. Okay, so how can you use? Using the name only you are accessing. Suppose if you want to add anything, you can add here, and here you can access assets. Assets is a nothing. And one thing you have to keep in mind: if you have a empty spaces, no problem here in the settings and constants. Settings and also having empty lines, right? No problem. But assets you should not have. Suppose asset A, and A is asset B, so DDT is asset. So it's not like that. Okay, don't give the space empty lines in the assets page. So assets page here, as per our discussion, assets has a name and asset, right? So you have a name and asset, name and asset. Okay, this has a name and asset name. So based on these asset values, we will fill with the asset value. Okay. Oh, let's go to the this REFramework. REFramework has a how many state? This is a state mission, right? Main.xaml is a state mission. Sorry.
Yeah, in that config, you have that maximum retry count, right?
Huh.
But you have it in the orchestrator also, right?
We have it in the orchestrator also, yeah. But you
So
can mention here also. You can mention here also. So if your maximum retry count, so if it is not depending on the queues, you can mention here. Okay, basically, one thing is, so by default, REFramework come up with the basically queue items, right? Basically, it comes with the queue items because it is built on top of the state mission and it follows the queue items. So if you don't want to have in the queue, so suppose for example files names in the folder, so these things and all, then you can use the maximum retry in the Excel. Understand? Because it is not depending on the queues. Right, you can tune, this is a template, you can tune this into the queue mechanism or normal, that's what here I mentioned earlier. You can have a string, you can have a int, right? You can have some anything, data row is a one queue item. So if you want to retry that item, so you can use a maximum retry here, okay?
Okay, got it.
Assets. And but as per it's not that much simple. You have to change as it's not like a simply change the queue item to the data row. You have a lot of places you have to change the queue item to the data row. Okay, if you want to convert that into the queue mechanism to the normal process. So the transaction items we have to change. We'll see. Okay, by default it is coming with the queue items. Queue items you don't need to change because everything is built on the queue items. Okay, now you have a 4 states. How many states are there in the REFramework by default? Okay, it's not like a fix. Okay, you can add new state also, no problem. Okay, you can add new state also. State, you can just drag and drop here or here, state, state. You can name this as a load data. There's no problem. Now it is a 5 states, right? 5 states. Understand? So basically the question is here, how many states are there by default from the orchestra without any change? We have a 4 states, right? What is the states? Init state. That's what here we saw. Init state, get transaction state, process transaction state, and end process, right? End process. So if any init state, if any exception occurs, see, init state is connected to the end process. That's what here, the end process. If you go inside this transition, the system exception is, see, his system exception is not nothing. Then it will go to the end process. The system exception is nothing. Then it will go to the get transaction state. Okay, this is a success. Success means the system exception is nothing. This one is a system exception is a not nothing. That's what here it went to here, it went to here. Okay, system exception is nothing. Then it will go to the get transaction state. Init get transaction state, and this one is a new item. New item means here transaction item is not nothing. That means transaction item is there. That is a new item. It will go to the process. There is no data. No data means no data. The transaction item is nothing. There is no items from the transaction item. So when it will go, one case is, so how many times this get transaction state will go to the, from the get transaction state to the end process? One thing is should stop, right? If any person click on the should stop, the get transaction item equal to nothing, then it will go here. The next one, second time is, if the items are closed, there's no items to process. What is the get transaction state? The get transaction item is again nothing. If it is a false, again it will check. If the item is nothing, then it will, the transaction item is also transaction item also nothing. Okay, nothing. So then it will go to the end process and close all applications. That is a successfully completed all the applications, all the items from the queue, all the transaction items from the queue. Done. That time also it will go to the end process. Okay. If any exception occurred in the get transaction state, what will happen? Any system exception occurred in the get transaction state, what will happen? So that time transaction item is equal to nothing. That's why you go to the end process. Understand? Here, you'll go to here, and this process transaction state, this is a success. Just let me make like this. Okay, success. One item is success. Then it will go to the get transaction state. Again, new item will come. Okay, if any business exception, go to the get transaction state and process transaction states. If any system exception occurred, what will happen? It is going to the init settings, right? Understand? That is this one. So in this folder, you have the Excel, right? In the init settings, go to the init settings. So first of all, system exception equal to nothing. It's saying if the system exception equal to nothing, if system exception is nothing, so then if condition, in the if condition, we're checking. One second. So if the config is a variable, see here, there is a config is a dictionary, string and object, and transaction item is a queue item, a system error is an exception, business exception is a business rule exception is a, this is a business rule exception. Okay, variables, we have a variables like a business rule exception, right? That's the one variable. System error. Okay, and this one I'm just transaction number. What is the transaction number? That is another variable, transaction number. So if you are using the data table, data row, then you can use a transaction number as a one variable to increase the row count. Okay, get the row number for data from this here of 1, of 2, like that. Okay, that is the transaction number. So if you are using the data transaction items, you can use these things now. Okay, retry mechanism, and yeah, that's it. Data transaction data is a data table, right? That is the main thing. Okay, now config is nothing. If it is checking config is nothing, then it will initialize all the settings. In the initial all settings, so it is a parameters. It is showing that config Excel and the sheets. So you have to mention the only the sheets, not assets. Assets is by default it will be there, and you have to mention the sheets. If you want to add these two also, HR and SAP, where you have to add? You have to add here. Okay, HR and SAP, like that you can add. Okay, otherwise you can't add. So what is the purpose of the, can you tell what is the purpose of this init all settings? Read config and load dictionary. Okay, read config and load dictionary. Okay, so okay, so overall you understand, right? Not inside the each state. Overall you understand, and each state also you understand here. Okay, one by one, right? One by one inside that each state. Okay, now so this one the connections you understand, right? The connections. So inside the process, it has like this only. And if you go to the folders, you have a data and documents. If you want to read the documents, you can have a documents. And framework, in the framework folder, having the close all applications, get app credentials, get transaction data. That is the get transaction data here. You have a Excel, right? Get transaction data, this is null. Okay, and init all applications, init all settings, kill all processes, set transaction status, take a screenshot. It will take the screenshot if the error occurred. Okay, now so where is this one? These things and all, this is a template. As I said, it is a template. It does not have anything. Okay, init all applications, open the init all applications. In init all applications, there is only one log. Okay, here you have to write the code for the opening the applications. And the kill process, open the kill process also have any, not have anything. Okay, it is just log. You have to write the kill process code here. Init all settings has a code. Okay, and we'll see that init all settings, in the init all settings, what is the variables? Three variables. One is a sheet name, what is the Excel name, Excel path, and sheets names, and the output is a config dictionary. It will fill and give the output as a config dictionary. So in here, for each sheets, so because this in sheets is a string array, right? Sheet names. So while you are giving the HR and SAP also, the same thing will come in this loop. Okay, all the sheets, the sheet name it will read and loop each and every row from that this row from that data Excel, and it will check if it is empty or not. If it is not empty, it will fill the config dictionary. What is the config dictionary? The config dictionary is a key is a name, right? Row of name, and the value, row of value. Okay, so basically it will fill all the information. That is for all the sheets, what all the sheets you are mentioning here, that sheets it will fill that one. After that, uh, you have assets. Okay, basically they hard coded these assets. That's why you don't need to pass the assets. They hard coded the assets. So assets, what it is doing, it is going to the get asset activity and getting the asset value. The row of asset means it will give here. Okay, row of asset, and it will take the value, asset value, and fill the dictionary. So same thing. So name, instead of it is a value directly row of value, it is taking the value from the get asset value and fill the information. That's it. Okay, everything is surrounded by the try and catch. Everything they had it. You understand that init all settings, right? And kill process, everything is on. So most of the things are empty. Most of the things, few activities are having. Close all applications also. does not have anything, you have to write the code for the closed applications. Do you all understand the REFramework? Tomorrow we'll see inside of this each and every state, what is there inside, and we will see the one example. Okay. If you have any doubts, you can ask now. Okay. Otherwise, we'll see tomorrow. The next part in the sense. So overall, you got the one idea, right? Which states are there, which state will go, from which to which, and each state, what are all there, these things and all. Take a picture, and yeah. So because this is a main thing, that means go to the open the REFramework and go to the each and every activity states and investigate. Any doubts?
Sudhir, I had one doubt. Like, where are you loading the queue items?
Here, where are we loading the queue items? Here, loading the queue items. Okay, that is a good question. So, because we are not loading any queue items here. Okay, we are not loading queue items here. We will see tomorrow the dispatcher and performer. So it's not for the loading. That's what I said initially. Transactional process. Okay, we're not loading the queue items. So you can have a queue items already there. That means that's why you can create a dispatcher and performer. That performer is REFramework part. Okay. Dispatcher is a dispatching the items. That's it. Or you can load the items from the init settings also, because this init settings, in the init settings, you can have some people, what they will do, they will do the dispatcher and performer in the same place, but that is not good way. Some people they do. Okay. So anyway, this one will execute only one time, right? So in this place, they will write the code for the that means loading the items to the queue. Okay. One time it will load and process all the items. Okay. Any more doubts? Hello?
So if you're putting the code in the init block, every time you run this, then there will be duplicates in the queue, right?
Yes. Duplicates in the queue. Okay. That's why what people will do, so people will create a different projects, two projects. Okay, two projects. One is a dispatcher, another one is a dispatcher and performer. Performer is REFramework. Okay, dispatcher just dispatch the Excel and add the queue item, add queue item. Okay. This will just the purpose of the dispatcher. This is one small project. Schedule it is into the 9 o'clock, this one into the 10 o'clock. So once this is running, so it will have items. 9 o'clock it will run the items, right? It will add the items to the queue, and this is another work. This is the REFramework. So REFramework will get the items from the queue and process the queue. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So on this dispatcher should be kept separate.
So, see, you have to take care of that things, and so you just ask that, like in the init process, if you use the update the items, so we will get the duplicates. You're saying, right? So we have to take care of those things and all. In the Excel, if you have a ID comma age, so you have to status. You put the status. Okay, status. Okay, so you see this ID has a 111 comma 22 comma status is nothing, and 222 comma 34. So while you are using in the load data in the init state, you have to fill this status is a uploaded or completed, loaded. Okay, loaded. Okay. This is a loaded. Okay, so 333. You have to take care of that one. Understand? So here. So while in the init state you are loading, right? You are loading. While you are loading, first you have to check whether the status is empty. Only that things you are loading. Okay. So if you write the load code, that means dispatcher code inside the init state. So in the tomorrow, suppose so it loaded. loaded. Okay, so next time if you run, there is no loaded, there is no empty status, then it won't load the items to the queue. Okay, if anything is not loaded, so suppose new item comes into the while it is running, new item come here, then it will load only this item. New item come into the Excel. Understand?
Okay. Yeah.
That thing and all you have to think, and you have to build that kind of logic. Okay, we should not, if you don't want to add the items to the queue, so every time duplicate, that is the one way. Another way is getting the items and check if there is no duplicate, then there is no already item, then you add. That is all. Do you have any doubts? Is it clear, Achna?
Yes, Sudhir.
Yeah. So what about the other people? Chaitanya. Okay. So Vamsi, do you have any doubts, or it's clear? Hello. Chaitanya.
Sudhir,
Chaitan.
sorry, I have one more question.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you said you have to take care of those duplicates, right? So,
Yeah.
I mean, you can have, yeah, see, I can get some records from SAP or Salesforce. That can be the input,
Hmm.
right? Or from the web.
Hmm.
So, at this case, like it need not be in one Excel. Uh,
Need
so
not
the
to be in
multiple.
that will change. Yeah, that will, based on the change, you have to write the code. Okay, so you are just making the tracker. Okay, Excel tracker. Okay, so tracker, you're getting the data. This Excel does not have a data, but it has a tracker. So once you're getting the data from the SAP, and you are filling the Excel for the tracking purpose. Okay, so these items I loaded. These items I loaded. Okay, these items are not loaded. Okay, so while you are getting the data from the SAP tracker before the tracker, so SAP to queue, right? So once you
Yes.
add the queue item, again update into the add the new item, same item to the Excel. But before going to the queue, you're checking the check Excel. Okay, check Excel. If already item is there in the Excel, that means it is already loaded. Don't go to the queue. If it's not there, then go to the queue, add the queue item, and I fill the tracker also. Excel tracker also. That is the one. This is not the. I'm not saying this is the way you have to do. This is a one way, but you have to satisfy the requirement. That is the one way. Another way is you just get queue items, right? You have a get queue items activity, and look at all the queue items. So state the new status. Yeah, get queue items, right?
Yes, Sudhir.
Queues. Now you get queue items. Drag the get queue items. So this get queue item has a status new. Check the new. So if any new items has, you can have a specific item, get specific content of the name. So you're checking the get specific item. If there is no item like that, then add the queue. Otherwise, ignore.
Okay. Yeah.
Understand? Yeah.
Yes.
You have to do that. So you, based on the requirement, you have to satisfy that requirement. So any that's it. You understand, right? Any more questions? Achna, Chetan, Amshi.
We can run the process now, Sudhir,
Sorry.
without orchestrator.
Yeah, without orchestrator, we can run the process. Okay. If you are depending on the queues, yeah, you have to you have to use the orchestrator. If no more questions, yeah. Okay. See you tomorrow. Okay, 6 o'clock.
Thank you.
Bye bye. We'll see that next part tomorrow and one example. Bye bye. Have a great day. Bye.